Sion had already been reincarnated into a fantasy world, but the problem was that his progress. He can now create magic in different shapes and change their size, but spreading it out reduces its concentration. Once it spreads too much, it can't even ignite fire, so he decides to make his magic sharper and more concentrated. This time, when he uses the lighter, he creates a sword made of fire. Impressed, he tries the same thing with the lightning ore. But his magical energy is too weak, so the stone barely reacts. Next, he extends his magic and touches the ore, causing electricity to surge dangerously close to him. Later, his father arrives with Grast. "This idiot bought a huge amount of lightning ore after hearing your idea," his father says. "Most people bought some at first, but since it's so dangerous to handle, it's all sitting unused in a storage room now. Knock it out." Grast asks Sion if he can find a way to sell it, since he can't afford to keep renting the storage room for long. "I'll try," Sion says, "but don't expect too much." He then asks why all the ores are stored so far apart. Grast explains that when two ores get close, they react with each other. He shows Sion a stone made by melting lightning ore, but when he brings two of those stones close together, nothing happens. Grast explains that the lightning probably disappeared during the melting process. Sion asks his father for permission to try something. After getting approval, he lights a strip of material on fire using his lighter. Seeing this, Grast is left completely stunned. Sion tells him that what he just saw was magic. Then he wonders if melting it with fire magic would produce a different result. Hearing this, Grast immediately gets back to work. This time, when the two metals are brought close to each other, an intense light bursts out. Seeing this, Sion names the new material Iron Lightning. After that, everyone works together to produce large amounts of iron lightning. Grast works non-stop for 3 days and nights without sleeping even once. Using this material, they manage to create 2 different items. Sion tells him that it was magic. Then he suggests testing whether melting it with magical fire would change the result. Grast immediately gets back to work. This time, when the two metals are brought close together, an intense light erupts. Sion names the new material Iron Lightning. After that, everyone works together to produce a large quantity of iron lightning. Grast works non-stop for 3 days and nights without sleeping even once. Using it, they create 2 items. The first is a lantern, and the second is a striker that's much easier to use than a regular lighter. Seeing all this, Sion's parents praise him. Grast then says, "You really are special, aren't you?" "Well, of course you are. Don't forget what I said." Hearing that, Sion starts wondering what Grast really meant. They all head back home, and soon we learn that lightning lamps and strikers begin selling incredibly well. Sion then prepares for his next experiment. Normal fire needs oxygen to burn, and that same principle applies to lightning lamps. He wants to see whether magical fire follows the same rule or not. He lights a candle using magic, then covers it with a cup. When they remove the cup, the candle is still burning. This proves that magical flames don't need oxygen. They can enhance natural phenomena. That's when an idea strikes him. He shoots fire magic into the sky using a lighter and asks Mary to fire her magical energy into the fireball. The moment she does, the fireball suddenly expands violently, knocking Mary to the ground. Rose asks if he expected that to happen. Sion admits he didn't. He thought the fire would only grow a little. To him, it felt like setting off a massive firework. His curiosity spirals out of control, and he brings out lightning ore for another experiment. He touches it with his magic, but this time there's no explosion. Sion explains that it's not just magical energy reacting. It's the air reacting with magical energy. When he activated lightning magic before, he felt wind resistance. And since flare doesn't need oxygen to burn, magical energy alone is enough. That means magical energy behaves like air, and when it comes into contact with a physical object, it enhances that object's properties. Realizing this, Sion starts laughing in that strange way again. Seeing him like this makes Mary smile too. He decides that when 2 or more types of magic are combined, he'll call it compound magic. He asks Grast to make flame-resistant gloves for him. Using the gloves, he creates fire, and the moment he channels magic into it, a powerful explosion occurs. He then experiments with lightning magic as well, and this time it succeeds. Overwhelmed with joy, Sion starts crying. Rose and Mary rush over and hug him. Later that night, when Sion wakes up to use the bathroom, he overhears his father, mother, and Grast talking. His father says Sion is very smart and wouldn't casually show his magic to just anyone. He adds that Sion is special, and whoever gave him to them must have had a reason. Hearing this, Sion is shocked. That means he isn't their biological son. After that, Sion continues his training. Eventually, he destroys a wooden block with a powerful lightning spell and thanks Mary and Rose for helping him. Mary tells him there's no need to thank her because she's his big sister. They're not even blood related. Hearing that reminds Sion of something she once said, and he quickly shakes the thought away, wondering why he's even thinking about it. Later, Sion writes in his notebook. He realizes that by combining magic, he can greatly increase the power of fire and lightning spells. However, mixing certain spells together doesn't always create anything new. The next morning, he stands inside the river and gathers magic underwater, but nothing happens. Mary asks what he's doing, and Sion explains that magic adapts the properties of air, so he wants to see what happens when it's gathered in water. Unlike fire or lightning, there's no visible effect. He tries another experiment and manages to make the water float. Thinking he might be able to cast water spells, he starts laughing strangely again. He steps out of the river and tries collecting moisture from the air. Nothing major happens except his palm feels slightly wet. Next, he gathers water from a much larger area, forming a ball about the size of his hand. Sion names this magic Aqua and teaches it to both Mary and Rose. After that, Sion goes with Grass to register at a guild. He wants to advance his research further by going on monster hunts. Mary comes along too, because she wants to become stronger to protect everyone. My name is Grass, and I'm a platinum rank adventurer. I want to register these three, he says. Just then, Sion's father arrives to endorse them. He shows the receptionist that he's a diamond rank hunter, shocking everyone in the room. After selecting a quest, they head outside. Sion apologizes to his father for coming without permission. His father says he expected something like this and warns him to inform him next time. Having two high-ranking adventurers with them will be much safer. They set out on the hunt. A group of goblins attacks Gawain, but he easily kills them one by one. Sion realizes just how strong his dad really is, but his father reassures him, saying the kobolds they're hunting will be back soon. The kobolds appear, and Gawain explains that they're weaker than goblins, making them perfect for a first battle. Mary and Rose move to the front, while Sion stays back, preparing his attack. Sion casts a fireball spell and launches a magic orb into it, causing a massive explosion that wipes out most of the kobolds. One kobold survives and charges at Sion, but Mary steps in and saves him. Sion then uses a lightning attack to finish it off, while Mary and Rose cut down the others with their swords. When another kobold tries to ambush them from behind, Sion kills it with a fireball. Gawain praises them, saying they fought extremely well for their first real battle. They move on to the next kobold nest. After defeating all the monsters, everyone is exhausted. Sion admits that he can't yet match Mary and Rose. The adults handle the looting and tell the kids to rest. While sitting down, Sion senses something strange and follows the feeling into a cave. Inside, he finds a fairy trapped in a cage and frees it. The fairy flies away immediately. When they return home, Gawain looks absolutely terrified and tries to sneak away from his wife, but she stops him and says she wants to talk in private. Moments later, his screams echo throughout the entire house. After that, their mother returns and asks the girls what happened. Seeing her like that makes them panic, but she calmly explains that she already knew about the monster hunting. She just isn't used to seeing her children in such dangerous situations. She promises she won't stand in their way as long as they stay safe. Later, Sion fights goblins again and tries a new spell. He spins his magic in a circular motion like a cyclone, compresses a huge amount of energy into it, and launches it at the goblin, defeating it instantly. 2 years pass since they began monster hunting. Sion is now 10 years old, while Mary and Rose are 12. Mary tells him she killed 20 goblins that day. Over these 2 years, Sion's magic sensing ability has improved greatly. He can tell how much magical energy someone has just by looking at them. Still, no one has as much magic as Mary and Rose. Around the town, the number of monsters continues to increase, which feels strange to Rose because it's not a variety of monsters, just goblins. The three of them visit Grast, who has made new gloves for Sion. Grast tells them that they'll reach silver rank very soon. Mary says that instead of only increasing their power, they should also do things that have a positive impact on the world. Later, Sion trains with his father. He attacks with Flare, but his father blocks it easily. He blocks Sion's lightning attack and counters, but Sion dodges and wins the match by collapsing the ground beneath him using magic. He had sent air into the ground to make it cave in. The move drains him completely. I need more physical training, Cyan admits. Gawain praises him, saying he's using magic much better now, especially controlling its force, which is still difficult. Cyan says that one day he wants to fly using magic. Mary joins the training next, but Gawain dodges her attacks and defeats her from behind. She complains that Cyan always wins while she keeps losing. Gawain tells her that one day she'll defeat him too. Later they help Rose with pest control. By the time they finish catching insects, evening has arrived. Suddenly dark clouds gather in the sky, and Cyan notices a strange color forming above. Everyone rushes indoors to avoid the rain, but Mary suddenly collapses. Cyan runs to her, but she doesn't respond. Together, they carry her inside. After checking her temperature, Cyan says her body is extremely cold. Soon, their parents arrive as well. Mary opens her eyes, but she doesn't speak. Her expression doesn't change at all. Rose says it might be lethargy sickness. She had heard about it while shopping in the East District. People suddenly collapse, as if the strings of a puppet were cut. After that, they do nothing. They just lie in bed, unmoving. And so far, no one has ever recovered from it. Hearing this, everyone panics. But Gawain tells them that, for now, they should take her to a doctor. He decides to go with them. At first, Gawain hesitates, but Xian insists. If monsters attack, it would be safer if he came along. They leave in a carriage. On the way, Xian sees that strange light in the sky again. Dad, what is that? But his father can't see anything. Suddenly, bloody wolves begin chasing the carriage. Just focus on driving, I'll handle them, Xian says. Because of the rain, he can't use flare or bolt magic. He has to rely on aqua instead. He gathers water, shapes it into bullet-like projectiles, and fires them using wind magic. But the wolves keep coming. Their numbers don't decrease. Even his father joins the fight, yet it's not enough. Then, all of a sudden, the wolves retreat. An eerie wind starts blowing. Xian, something's wrong. Something strange is coming. We need to leave now. A terrifying magical beast appears in front of them. Xian freezes in fear. He tells his father to look, but Gawain sees nothing. That means only one thing. It's an invisible, magical beast. The creature lets out a horrifying scream. Xian screams too, terrified. You can't hear it? Xian shouts. His magic attacks pass straight through the beast. It lunges at him. In that moment, Xian remembers what happened with the goblin before. He tries the same technique, and this time he manages to injure it. The monster climbs onto the carriage, about to attack his father, but the electric light from the lamp starts affecting it. The beast tries to escape. Xian leaps high using magic and delivers a final attack, destroying it. He almost crashes to the ground, but his father catches him. Why do you always do such reckless things? Gawain scolds him. When they reach town, they discover many people suffering from the same sickness. We don't have a cure, the doctor says. All we can do is care for them. Xian snaps, isn't a doctor supposed to cure patients? Mary always smiled. She never did anything wrong, so why was this happening to her? They decide not to return to the village and stay in the area instead. Mary's parents thank Rast for giving them rooms to stay in. Xian sits beside Mary, trying again and again to wake her. Later, his father approaches him. I want you to meet someone. If they can't cure Mary, I don't want to meet anyone. Gawain explains that an invisible monster has already killed more than 10 people, and Xian is the only one who can fight it. At first, Xian refuses. He won't leave Mary, but then he remembers her words. You've already done many things, but one day you can still do something that makes the world better. When that time comes, help people. That convinces him. Xian realizes something important. Everyone affected by the sickness has zero magical energy. Even people in town no longer have any. He decides he will find a cure himself. He's taken to meet Duke Bolf. The Duke believes Xian's magic might work both with and against the lightning slab. Xian proposes a dangerous idea, restoring magical energy, but instead of experimenting on people, he chooses monsters. The Duke approves and assigns experts, a medical specialist, a knight, and a monster expert.